So, leave them, it's life teaching them a lesson. Berner said, it's kind of the hardship of wanting to help everybody, wanting everyone to get along, but like here where I'm at now in Seattle, Washington, the voice outside the window yelling, screaming, the smells where I gotta shut the window because all I do is smell perfume. And they're all just so they're nonstop in a busy city as it is, growing and growing and growing, especially since I've been here in, I think 2002, been here almost 18 years now, I think, since I came out here to go to school from Arizona. And I've learned about cultures up here like I did in Arizona. I got my Tibetan tattoos from the shop that I apprenticed with a Tibetan elder, shaman, and met lots of spiritual traveling, seeking hippies and, everyday people who like to meditate, who like to be peaceful, who like to talk about consciousness, who like to, do drugs, who like to bring food once in a while and just sit down and eat and talk and sometimes just eat and be quiet. I sat with monks, I sat with, holy people, Tukula, Tukuyeshi, a holy man, nuns, beautiful women, pretty men, cool people. And we never bumped into each other. We never demanded we should not say anything. We never demanded we shouldn't do anything. The owner never told me when I volunteered there, hey, here's the rules, follow them. Here's the behavior, don't do these. He taught me Urdu. He taught me some Tibetan, Tashi Dalik. Introduced me to some amazing people. And at these big businesses, there's similar kinds of cultures and there's similar kinds of, people who are the best candidates to kind of model what's happening right now in Seattle, Washington from after, whatever you want to say. Because where they come from in India and Pakistan and China and, wherever else, they have good consciousness, they have good restrictions, like in China. They have intelligence, they have smart humans who care about life. And so they've kind of disregarded some of what we already have available, all of us, and limited what they can do with their revolutionary movement and algorithms and artificial intelligence, deciding about their reward system, deciding about their bathroom rules, deciding about words like all lives matter, and declaring this kind of behavior speaking and the clarity when you make sense to be the change you wish to see in the world. Sacred. And the new God and the new Buddha and the new Islam, with the top being the hijab, the turban, the anarchist, the Antifa supporter, Bernie Sanders, 20 other politicians, a woman from Minnesota, one from New York, a woman from somewhere else who has a culture she's from in Pakistan. And they do, all the stuff with their body and, gesture and behavior, and then tell a person like me, I'm a racist white nationalist, I can't do what they're doing, to shut up and stop. And please, give us your guns while you're at it. You're killing everybody, mass shootings, you people with all your guns. And not a single person so far has stepped up and said, let's all just, go up once. Rise up to our brains. Stand up to our brains. Not stare at someone, not tell someone you're going to fuck them up the next day. Not tell someone you are going to fucking kill them if they don't stop kicking in their door because they don't know what they're doing or whatever is happening. And then once you get to the top in the brain, take a second to think cognitively and be mindful, and to be spiritually neutral. Just consider, have you ever paused and given any thought to the mind of the person you're restricting, the person you're telling to shut up, the person you're telling to stop being such a racist white nationalist, stop telling the person whose mind you're calling suicidal, dangerous, a bitch, a rat, a narc, and violence. And gone down as far as we can to the bottom of our toes, to the tips of our toenails, to the hairs on our feet. And then felt the stomach. And thought about, have you ever paid attention to what you eat? And have you ever thought about what the person you're talking about, what the person you're telling to be quiet eats? And then gone back to your life. And for me, as an example, I see something flying around like an insect, but, I'm not going to make a conspiracy theory. The Central Intelligence Agency has sent some sort of insect robot because they're doing artificial intelligence with insect brains, I think, or some crazy, far out stuff that wasn't like top secret on the internet. I don't think I'm breaking rules, but I thought it was fascinating because I study neuroscience. So neuroscience of insects, And then I think you can start to get the duality. The duality with the businesses where they can have these AI and these algorithms match up to these people and these social movements and revolutions they support, they, give, energy to. All lives matter. technology everywhere. Except the duality in the business like Google, they've smooshed or almost eliminated free food, from what I understand, or at least tons of food. Same with Microsoft. Company parties like picnics, and nobody going around saying, make America great with me. And they've kind of dropped the top down to the bottom of the top. So you can still see the top right now, Like that's kind of what's happening. Except there's still that duality where you're not able to have both choices and options. You've been still scrunched down to the restriction and the limits. And there's the duality, the duality between the limits and the restrictions and freedom. Whistleblowers have been fired, sent away, and banished, and, lost their work, saying stuff about the duality. And it's taken me now, I think, 3 videos to try to explain this duality and not get interrupted, not get the police called, not get misdirected, or, any number of descriptions. And the duality with these politicians from Minnesota, New York, Bernie Sanders, the candidate for presidency in 2020, and the Pakistani woman, and people from California who have been in the news about impeachment, the House of Representatives, and all the powerful and the elite. Keep the duality from ever really being talked about with what they're doing and freedom. And have declared freedom as inherently incorrect, as freedom being a duality also.